Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Good morning, it's 6:30 on Saturday the 21st of August. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. Cool morning this morning. Just admiring this grass that I cut down last weekend. It does look very nice. You'll remember I said I would want to get the centre section done if I could, and whilst it is a little bit damp underfoot, the sun is trying to peek out from behind those trees there, so it would be nice to get this centre section down if I can. The rest of it, all around the aggregate pile and the entranceway, is looking very nice. So let's see. I guess how wet is that? It's a bit damp still, but all we can do is try. Give it a little bit of time for the wind to do its trick, and you never know, we might get it done. It makes a change to see the sun, although the weather forecast keeps telling us we've got more rain on the way, so I have no clue what it's going to be doing, but whatever I am doing, I'll keep you posted as we go through the day. Well, as usual, first things first, sort the chickens out. They do like their mixed corn in the mornings. Nice to see them pecking around and content. Well, let's have a little look and see what's inside the chicken coop. Cleared out Thursday night, so these red ones just follow me around. I don't know what they think that I'm going to do any differently. Let's take a little look. I cleared out Thursday, so there's only Friday's eggs. Look at that, first box in. 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 in there. It's quite funny because the one of the red ones was sat in here on Thursday night, which they're not normally sitting in here, and I thought it might be getting broody. Nothing. So yeah, 6 eggs, all in the same nest box, which they don't normally do. I wonder if one of them is getting broody. Better top that water up today. Anyway, let me get myself in the cabin, get the kettle on, and see what today brings. This weather's not looking promising at all. Spitting a little bit with rain. Hey ho, I guess we'll find out shortly what I get up to. Well, good morning, it's the weekend. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you are staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend after the hard week at work. It's been a strange week this week, weather-wise. Hasn't really known what to do. Weather forecasts were promising torrential rain, which never came. Then they changed their mind and said a heat wave, which never came. It's been this kind of grey overcast with intermittent little drizzly showers all the way through the week, which isn't great for getting stuff done. From my side, I managed to pop out a couple of surprise videos this week. Did a cooking video with your preps, tinned meat quiche. It was actually very tasty, especially the little baby ones, the little tarts that I did. I just did those on a whim. I hadn't planned to make those at all, but it seemed a shame to waste the spare pastry. had a little reminder from my shopping. I normally shop on Friday night. This Friday I was busy, I was away from home visiting my mum, so didn't have the time to do the shopping on Friday, so I did it a day early. And as I was wandering around looking at the various bits and pieces on the shelves, the inevitable gaps now that we seem to have with the ongoing supply chain issues, fresh vegetables, poor quality when they're there. I don't know how many times over the last few weeks I've been in to pick up things like cauliflower and broccoli and found that there wasn't any. It had all been eaten up during the day and left nothing for me as I came home from work at night. And a few other bits and pieces. Aldi's, I normally shop in Aldi's predominantly at the weekend. And bags of rice that I used to get every single time, not there. The sachets of porridge oats. Normally there's boxes and boxes of different varieties and flavours. The one I usually have is golden syrup flavour. For weeks now it's been not there, and you've been left with the odd half a shelf where there's normally 2 or 3 shelves. So we clearly do still have issues, and price clearly is another issue. Things are definitely going up, and way more than government would have you believe. All of this talk about 2.5% inflation, it's not, it's way more. Certainly double, I'd say closer to treble for your everyday basic stuff. So I just thought it was worth putting out a little reminder video about topping up whenever you do go on your normal weekly or monthly shop, whatever it is that you do, and just add a few extra things. I normally pop in 2 or 3, sometimes 4 or 5 items. I went a little bit overboard this week because red lentils in the kilo bags, there were some on the shelf, albeit there was only 2. So it would have been rude for me not to have taken advantage of those. There's lots of little half-kilo ones. Well, I say lots, there aren't lots, but there was more half-kilo bags than there were kilo bags. But I just find it a bit of a faff. You're paying more money for half-kilo bags than you are for a kilo bag, and they're more difficult to store than the kilo bags. So yeah, got a few more bits than I normally would, but it should just serve as a reminder. Things aren't as predictable in the stores as they used to be. And sod's law says when you go to get something, it's not there. Somebody else has taken it. So yeah, take full advantage when you do go shopping to just keep adding that little bit extra to your preps. In terms of what I'm going to get up to over the weekend, it is really down to the weather. I'd like to get a bit more grass cut. I want to make some more progress on the IBC, the new IBC water tank cabinet. I've been waiting for roof sheets to come, and they haven't yet, which again is another indication of supply chain issues. Stuff normally would arrive next day or certainly within 2 to 3 days, and quite often I'm finding things are taking a week or more to arrive. But I have got pallet wood to make a bit more framing for the roof for that, so I will be doing that at some point during the day. But I keep looking at the weather. If this little bit of a wind would just help me a little bit and dry out the grass, it would be nice to get a bit more progress with grass cutting. We are heading towards the end of the year, but with this unpredictable weather, if I leave it, you guarantee the next weekend it'll be chucking it down with rain and I won't get it done, and before I know it, it'll be knee high. So fingers crossed we might get that done today. There are a few other little bits and pieces around planting, A little bit, I don't want to give too much away, really. Another little project, shall we say, which is kind of connected to heating. You'll remember last weekend I unboxed that paraffin heater. I have a couple of other ideas about heating, so at some point over the weekend might be a little project connected with that. You'll just have to wait and see. In the big wide world, COVID. I'm sick to death of COVID on the TV. Even though we finished everything for COVID back in July, I think it was 16th of July, we finally finished all of the various restrictions. Every single day, every single hour on Sky News, they run this little banner across the screen. It's like a PowerPoint slideshow of the restrictions that we no longer have. And they just keep telling us that these restrictions have been lifted day after day. Every hour on the news bulletin, they're there. Why are they there? Other than to just have COVID permanently planted in people's minds and have that bit of fear and control. Climate change, they're doing the same thing with climate change. Not every hour, thank God, but every day they run the same kind of thing, a little PowerPoint graphic, and the presenter sits there and reads through these meaningless figures about what temperature has done since 1800 and something, how much it's gone up, and without telling you the rationale for it, how many millions and millions and millions of tons of CO2 have been pumped into the atmosphere. Humongous, massive figure. I forget what it is because it's such a big figure, but it's like trillions and trillions, not millions or billions, trillions of tons since 1800 and something. How do they know this? We couldn't record that back in 1800 and 1900 or in the early 20s for that matter. And they don't say what that means. And CO2, plants draw in CO2. So to have this thing just ticking up literally by the second is again meaningless, because we're putting stuff in the atmosphere, yes we are, but plants and the ground are at the same point taking it in again. So why isn't it going up and down? Sorry about that little rant there, but the media just do my head in with this constant fear-mongering and panic. It's designed to have people constantly in a state of anxiety and just doing as they're told. Oh, it's because of climate change, you got to do this. Oh, it's because of COVID, you got to do this. Really? Give us a break, please. Give us a happy story. Afghanistan, hot in the news this week with the... it was pretty predictable that as troops pulled out, the Taliban would drop morale back in again. Wasn't it predictable? I thought it was pretty predictable. But hey, for some strange reason, governments around the world are like, big shock. We've moved out and the Taliban have moved in. The only thing that story serves to prove is how inept governments are at taking care of their own. I don't know how many thousand Brits and equally how many thousand Americans and French and Germans and Italians there are in Afghanistan, predominantly doing aid work, because we pump in billions every year in overseas aid. I think 45% of the Afghan economy, the cash is free, given by other countries around the world. So why is it surprised that the Taliban would want that? We'll move in. You just keep sending us the money. And by the way, thanks for all of these millions and millions of pounds worth of ammunition and weaponry that you've left behind for us, and all these nice shiny bright trucks. Seriously guys, the world is messed up, and governments around the world aren't interested in you, the regular Joe public. They're just interested in their own agenda. So do not rely on them, I guess, is the message of the day, and do take action to try and reduce your reliance on government and the normal supply chain, because a crash is coming, I'm afraid. And all of these distraction stories that they keep pumping out on the media is just that. It's distraction stories to try and keep you asleep as long as possible before something does hit the fan. Anyway, bit of a contentious few subjects there, and apologies if I went off a little bit on a rant, but it does wind me up. Whatever I do get up to today, I'll keep you posted as we go through the video. And whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope you are staying safe and well and enjoying your relaxed time. Well, let's take a little quick run round, see what we've got going on planting wise. Pretty much as it was last weekend here in the garden room. The strawberries still hanging in there, putting out lots of... My neighbour's geese are kicking off a storm. Don't know what that's about. Yeah, strawberries, sending out loads of these little runners. I'm just taking the opportunity to plant those out wherever I can. Sweet potatoes coming along nicely. Lots of growth on these, sending out their little vines. It will be interesting to see what happens. Bit of a disaster really with these cabbage. Out of all of those little trays or cells, I've only got 3 bloody cabbages. So I might be tempted to plant a few more of those out today. Let's take a quick run outside, see what's going on out there. I'm hoping this wind dries out the grass, but it keeps having a little bit of a drizzle, so I'm not really sure. Potatoes, might be tempted to lift one of those buckets this weekend. Other than that, not a lot going on. Those sweets have just been eaten to death. Corn, loads of these little tendrils, but look at this. We have tucked in here, look. I don't know if it's going to focus. There's a little corn growing. So I have definitely got one. There must be another one somewhere, surely. Come on, tell me there is. Oh look, there is. There's one down there. There's one there. Have we got any more? Can't see. No, we've definitely got 2. Oh, hold on. Am I getting all excited for nothing? Hard to see, but we've definitely got 2. Those Swedes are making a fight back. Whether we'll get anything of there, I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see, I guess. The main good news really is in the polytunnel. I have been picking tomatoes this week, and pretty much as fast as I pick them, we've got more coming. They are slowly but surely changing colour. There are lots of them. I'm praying that they all do change colour, but the temperatures and the sun this week has been pretty lacking for them, I'm afraid. I've also been picking cucumber this week. Oh, there's another one changing colour down there, look. Yeah, I've been picking cucumber pretty much as soon as they grow, but there are some buried in the back of all of this foliage. I promise you there are some small ones, but all the big ones, there you go, look, there's one there. All the big ones I've been pulling off, so big success compared to last year. The still no sign of a fig on the fig tree. Lots and lots of growth, but no damned figs. So last year's one looks set to be the record, because I don't think I'm going to get any now. It's a bit too late, I think. Anyway, we'll see. I will be taking cuttings of that to try and propagate a few more. But carrots, look at all those carrots. They're really coming on well. And the 2 buckets I planted, what was it, 2 weeks ago? That one's doing really well. That one, oh, they are coming. They're tiny, 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 look. So they are coming as well. I'm just debating whether I want to plant a couple of more buckets of those. And again, I'm just debating, do I want to harvest some this weekend out of there? Everything this year has been really late, well over a month behind where they should be. I'm hoping that's not a sign of things to come, and that next year we get back to a normal set of seasons, instead of this mix, match and blur of all the seasons rolled into one and changing by the week. But we'll see. Anyway, so that's where we are with the polytunnel. Far better this year than it was last year, and that's what it's all about, really. It's trying to build on your experience and learn for the following seasons, until eventually you've got it all down to a fine art. Will I ever reach that stage? I can but hope. Well, that's the red tractor out. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this weather. The wind's picking up and it is looking a bit grey, so I need to get this done early. Otherwise I'll not get it done at all. Well, it's slow progress, but it is progress. I've got about half of this centre section. I've got the bottom half, which should be easier because it's shorter, down towards the polytunnel. But from here, all the way up, I've got round all these little trees and bushes. It is a nightmare, this bit. I do love my trees, but it can be a bit of a test trying to get round here. It's like a little maze. But it is down, and almost half the field actually now, because I got all this done last weekend. So it is looking good, but it is a struggle. Anyway, this rain keeps threatening to come in, so then I get cracked on. I just keep pushing away, and eventually we'll get there. Well, the compost piles are gradually filling up. That end one's full. I think the rest of the grass that I cut today will fill these other two, so good job done. Well, it would be rude not to share. So now the grass is down. There's a little bit of a bounty for the chickens, a bit of greenery. They do like this. Oh, cockerel makes me laugh. He clucks away and they come running, and 9 times out of 10 it's just a bluff. There's nothing there. I'm sure he just likes having the girls round him, being the centre of attention. Ah dear. It's nice to see them happy and scratching around. Well, that was a difficult couple of hours work getting that down, but it's down. So the whole of this half of the field now, all the way up to the roadside, is done. Woodland side, centre section, all the way around the entrance, all nicely down. So I'll leave this this northern side where the bees are, because actually, to be fair, it's not too bad. A little bit long at the top by the roadside, but the rest of it's okay. So that'll certainly last another week, and hopefully the weather will be kind and I'll have a chance to get that down as well. But good progress, really pleased with that. I can stop panicking about when I'm going to get the last cut in, because it's down now. We're halfway through August. I don't think there's much more growing season left for this grass. Famous last words, I guess. Chickens are looking at me all suspiciously, wondering what I'm doing. Oh, there's a couple of them in the nest box. There's a grey one and a red one in there, which is good. Need to keep the egg production up. I've noticed a little hole starting to form just down here. I've got nothing for you, chicks. Don't know if you can see that. I'm guessing you can. And whilst I've really bordered quite well, I'm just a bit worried that the rats might be trying to get into the pen and then into the coop. So I've got these big stones. You'll remember those from previous video. Quite a while ago I got those. So I'm going to use those to fill in. We've got a little crowing contest going on with the chickens. Or should I say the cockerel. Alright, let's see what we can do with this. I think perhaps that's better. Trying to get them to meet so that they don't. That's a better one there. There we go. there. You would think this would be easy, but it's not. Finding the one that fits. There we go. Okay. It's like a bloody jigsaw. Oh. Oh, look at that, could have been made for the job. Let's spin this one around. There we go. How does that look? What do you think, Mr. Cockerel? He stood directly behind the camera looking at the screen. And now he's decided he wants to try and peck the tripod. He's really fascinated by it. Oh, there we go. If it moves, it's him. Right, what do you think? How's that looking? Let me pull that camera off there and you can take a little look and see what you think. What are you doing, Cockerel? He's fascinated by it, look. Oh dear. He is a stroppy bird, him. So what do you think? Not sure about that bit there. I might have to play with that one, turn it around. Let's have a little look and see. That's better. Right. Shut it. My neighbour's geese making a racket and the cockerel's looking, do you know, he's still looking at that tripod. Either that or he's going to sneak round behind me and peck my bum. Oh, there he is, he's pecking the tripod. Right, I might just fill in with a bit of sand around there, but I think it's about right. The fascinated now is what I've done with those bricks. They're all having a look. What has Daddy been doing? Well, I've mentioned breaking down pallets endlessly in videos, and somebody commented in the comment section about using a scissor jack. I mentioned it at the weekend in the cabin chat, so I thought I'd give it a go. And there's the result. It's just bending the board. But I'll try with the traditional method because it is, in all fairness, it is easing up the gap to get the crowbar under. So let me pop this on the tripod and we'll give it a little test drive and see how we get on. Well, it is coming up, in all fairness. Not the easiest job in the world, though. Okay. You watch this spring up now and catch me right in the mouth. Health and safety, we'll have a few there. Yeah, so again, it is easing it up enough to get the bar under. It's not it's still not the easiest, but I have to say, even though it's fiddly, the board is, with a bit of perseverance, coming out in one piece, as opposed to the normal habit of it breaking. It doesn't know what to do out here. This rain just keeps threatening. Really would be nice to be able to get these boards out without splitting them. Well, there we go. There's one. Nail side down. I've fallen for that before. And stood on the bloody thing. Yeah, there's still an issue here because there's nothing underneath to support the jack. So I'll get that side out, but the middle ones are going to be a bit of a challenge. Anyway, perseverance. Just because you've got the boards off doesn't mean the job's done. You've still got to get the nails out. And pallet nails just don't want to come out. They mechanically drive these in and they're serrated, so they are a pig to get out. Slow and steady wins the race. There's just so many of them. Well, there we go. Pallets broken down. In all fairness, it's not a bad idea I'm sure you could refine it. Somebody did mention using a cordless drill to work the jack. I'm not quite sure how that would work, but the positive side is the pallet's broken down. Apart from one casualty, the boards are all pretty much intact, which isn't always the case when you try and dismantle them with a hammer and a crowbar. A bit of brute force and ignorance. So yeah, in fairness, it does work. You just have to get used to it, I guess. It's the first time I've tried it, and like everything, experience counts for a lot. The more experienced you are, the quicker you are, and the more concise and better result you get. So there you go, test drive done. Might seem illogical, but now that I've fastened these or dismantled the pallets, I'm now reassembling the pallet wood. But all will become clear eventually. It's called building up. I'm trying to get some timber the right height or the right thickness for the new water tank cabinet. I'm already thinking about roofing. Well, I'm just busy framing around. I've built a back support, and I've already got that painted before I screwed it in place. Then just round the edges, just to tidy it up a little bit. I will need to do a little bit more to frame in the sides with a slope for the roofing material, and I'll need to pop. I've extended out, so I've got some supports there to fasten the roof sheets onto once I get them. So it's coming along, not doing too bad at all. This weather's not helping me because it just keeps spitting the rain, but I need to get these painted up, and hopefully they'll have a chance to dry in this wind before the proper rain comes. Good progress. Well, that's the framing painted. I've just popped another little block on this end because clearly with the drain pipe there, I mean, the idea is that you simply put roof joists down, but that's going to be a bit of a gap at the end, so I've just positioned that one so that I can butt up to the edge, and then that'll give me something to work with when I frame in the side of that sloping joint. And then it's just simply repeat across the span of the tanks. So I need to break some more pallets down. Weather is not helping me at all, it just keeps spitting, but thankfully everything's painted up that needs painting up today, so that's good. Well, that was a bit of a nightmare. Let me show you what I've been doing. But recycling the offcuts of the pallets, basically. So, there are a big box of firewood, and there are a couple of buckets of the more chunkier stuff, little mini logs. Whew. If you want to make yourself warm when it's a bit cool, that's the thing to be doing. But it's all good progress, and I will be using this in winter in the wood burner, so best get it done now while I can. Well, having seen the disaster that was the cabbage, with only 3 seeds germinating, I refuse to give up. We're going to pop some more in. So let's see what happens with these. Oh, there we are. That's another tray planted. All I've done with the 3 that had grown is I've popped them into that fabric container, and I'll leave those in here. There should be enough space in there. If they do grow on, there should be enough space in there for 3 cabbage. But fingers crossed we'll get something out of these. That's all we can do is hope. Well, that's it for today. Everything's locked up and put away. I don't know whether it's going to rain or not. It's been spitting all day, but thankfully it's held off enough for me to get my few jobs done. Not sure about tomorrow though, so I think it'll be another early start. Wherever you're doing, wherever you are, hope you stay safe and well and enjoying your weekend, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. How's that water tank coming along? It's a bit slow in steady progress, but it is good progress. And apologies for the little rant in the cabin chat, but what do you think? Are you buying into all the scare stories, or like me, are you just accepting that it's a distraction technique to get everybody forgetting what's really going on in the world? Let me know in the comment section below. But for now, thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.